Hello, and welcome to another week of Two Sheep in a Pool.
Why are you speaking in some sort of sensual manner?
I feel like I have to, because we're in a lounge setting now.
Yeah, I feel like we've been
we're on
drifting away.
sofas, and I feel like we're in like a low-key gentleman's club, like a loungy whiskey bar vibe.
Yeah.
So it requires a hello.
All right. Okay then. I think what Ben's trying to say is we've moved our recording location from the flat over to Ben's new wonderful house.
Thank you for the wonderful.
It's beautiful. It's starting to look not like a house, but like a home.
Thank you. If you ignore the random doors that are propped up against walls, but yeah, thank you.
Because it was an empty shell before, and you've kind of made it into your house now.
We're not halfway. We're probably like 3/4.
Mm-hmm. How long until you have to be out of the flat?
Oh, like 2 months.
Oh, okay. So
we don't want that. We want someone to take the flat as soon as possible. Okay. If anyone listening wants a flat in Liverpool, hit me up.
Yeah, for the cheap price of just under $1,000 a month.
Yes, there's no reason why we moved out of that flat.
No. But it is a lovely view.
It is.
Lovely view.
If you've got the money, go for it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, yeah.
That's good.
Do you want to hear a story from my work?
I would love to hear a story from your work.
Not a drama of sorts. Basically, I turned up to work yesterday and there had been an attempted break-in, we think. Basically, the window at the back had been repeatedly smashed with a rock.
But hadn't smashed?
Well, there was like a small-ish hole.
Yeah.
So the window held up. It's like reinforced glass.
Yeah.
And someone had just been smashing this rock against it and against it and against it. It kind of like slowly broke its way in, but they didn't get in because it never got big enough.
Right.
And basically, it was behind the tills, and that's where we keep all the liquor. Mm-hmm. So I think they were trying to break in and get some vodka or something like that, because it's kind of tempting when it's just through the glass, I imagine, if you're a alcoholic.
But they had no such luck.
But what did happen was every time they hit the window, the glass smashed into the store. So there was just glass everywhere on the inside. So I spent like 20 minutes sweeping it all.
I was going to say, was that your job?
That was my job, yeah. I was pretty miffed at 5:30, being like, fucking sweeping this fucking shit up.
Could you check cameras? Did you find him? Is he on the loose?
Basically, because it was we don't have cameras right on the outside there. We have cameras mostly watching the inside. I think we could see when it got smashed. Yeah. But not who did the smashing, basically. You could probably see, there's probably an image of the window getting cracked repeatedly. But
no face.
No face. And I'm not really privy to that kind of information.
Why not?
Being a lowly baker.
You own that store, don't you?
No. No, I don't. So I just thought it'd be interesting to let you know.
Well, a bit of excitement on a Wednesday morning. Are we on?
It is Wednesday now.
It is Wednesday,
but it was Tuesday morning.
But it was Tuesday.
Yeah. The manager had to stay overnight to make sure, because it was like compromised. The store was compromised, so that no one could rob the store for a second time. They've put up like a board against it now to make sure that if they throw more stones at it, they've got to go through this wooden
through a board
first.
As well.
Yeah.
Well, what I would like to bring something to attention. Uh-huh. What are you holding?
I'm holding a mug.
What's in the mug?
It's coffee.
Which you have repeatedly berated.
I have.
And put down.
I have.
And said it's dirt.
It still tastes bitter and dirt, but now I've added 2 spoonfuls of sugar. Yeah. So it kind of counteracts it.
So the missing ingredient for you was just sugar?
Yeah, probably. And the need to not feel knackered. Which coffee does quite well. Yeah, I don't think I've felt more productive since I started drinking coffee. Honestly, I was like,
how long have you been drinking coffee?
Probably since the weekend.
I think give it another 2 weeks, and that curve will drop, and then you'll just kind of need it to just get by now.
Oh no! Do you think I'll have to do like a week on, week off?
Maybe
kind of a productive week and a non-productive.
Maybe you can be a guinea pig, and we'll do this as an experiment.
Maybe this will be a gateway drug and I'll be on cocaine next week.
just There's no in between there. I thought you were going to be like up to Monster, caffeine tablets, No. Just straight to cocaine.
Might as well, innit? In for a penny, in for a pound.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I have. I went on to Fraser's and Dulcie's, and he's into his coffee a lot. And he's got like an espresso machine. So he made me like a frothy milk latte with like sugar in, and that was really nice. The frothy milk was definitely
If it was frothy milk, was it a cappuccino? Because that is the difference between the two.
Fuck if I know.
Latte is just hot milk.
Is it?
Cappuccino's frothy milk.
It felt a bit frothy, but I don't know.
Cappuccino is like more froth than liquid milk.
I don't think it was like that much.
No.
I'll ask Fraser and get back to you.
Yeah, let me know
whether it was a latte or a cappuccino.
Okay. I'm sure everyone's on the edge of their seats waiting.
Please email in your guesses. It won't get to us. It'll get bounced back, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, if you tweet us, that'll work.
Tweet us, yes. Yes, for sure.
I did a thing yesterday.
Oh, well done. Moving on.
Thanks.
What did you do, Benjamin?
I went to watch a musical.
What musical? Am I to guess?
It was The Book of Mormon.
Oh, have you not seen this already?
I've not seen it already. I bought this for my girlfriend's birthday back in November.
I think
the tickets were for
spoke about it. Yeah.
Now, because am I right in saying that you're not a massive musicals fan?
I don't mind musicals, but I wouldn't actively go and watch them. But I think Annie spoke about going and watching Les Mis.
Okay.
So I would go and watch that.
I think you, specifically, and anyone really, should go and watch Book of Mormon.
I've heard it's really good.
Because it's the kind of thing, I actually thought after we left, I thought James would like this.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting, because I knew it would be comedic. Yeah. I didn't realise how darkly funny it would be. Like, its sense of humour is very dark,
really?
Which I kind of knew because it's the writers of South Park who've written it. It was hilarious, though. Like, I wasn't prepared for like how dark it was at times.
For a musical.
Yeah, for a musical. I would highly recommend. I won't say anything in terms of story for spoilers, but just if you've
read the book instead.
You've read. Oh, I see what you've done there. Yeah. I see what you've done.
I'm sure that I remember hearing stuff when that came out that Mormons would go and kind of stand outside the theater and like they don't hate on it. I know it's like bashing against them, but they don't hate on it. They're like, oh, you've seen the musical, now read the book, and they kind of like try and like build off it rather than picket it and be like, oh, this is terrible, because it just makes them look more stupid. I think it's the best way to do it.
I was going to say, like, it's one of those things that no one comes off in a good light. They, like, ridicule everything and anyone.
Right, yeah.
Even though religion is kind of the focus of it. Mm-hmm. It's one of the, I think they can get away with it because it's offensive to everyone.
Right.
Rather than just, one.
Yeah, it's not persecution if you berate everybody.
Yeah, and that makes it fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not hate. It's not like if you kill like one Muslim person, that's a hate crime.
Yeah.
If you go on a killing spree and you kill a range of people, a rainbow of people, it's not hate crime. Hate crime. You're just a mass murderer.
Yeah. Anyone listening, we don't condone that, and please don't go and kill everyone.
Yeah, no, that's not a recommendation. I'm not a mass murderer.
0 bars, but 5 bars for the Book of Mormon. Would recommend. Anyway, have you got a complaint? Have you got anything, or should we do news?
I did have a complaint about work. Just
was it people smashing windows?
No, it was more to do with. I know what it was. So at the till, we have you have like the scanning area, which is relatively quite small, and it's got like a little ledge on it that I might scan something and put on there for you to take and put in a bag or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we have a large area that you would put a basket in, and then if you didn't have a basket, you would put your stuff in, right?
Okay.
The amount of people that come to the store and then start like, they've got like a big, large, like carrying it in their arms like it's a baby and struggling with it, and then they slowly and precariously line it up on this ledge, and they'll come over and go, oh yeah, just put it in the basket, and they just go, and just putting it on this little ledge, and it really pisses me off. And I don't know why, because why are you struggling when I've told you what to do, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Idiots. People are idiots. Case in point. I rest my case.
That was a short complaint this week.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Very well presented.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it just annoyed me this morning. I was like, what are you doing? You fool. And then do you want to hear another one as well? The people that come and I'll be like, oh, that's £3.64.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put my hand out and they'll intentionally place the money on the side next to my hand.
Yeah.
And they'll place like £4 down. I'm like, why you do it? My hand was there.
Yeah.
So then I do it straight back to them. For the change, I put it straight back on the side, because if they're not going to give it to me in my hand, they have to struggle and pick it up.
Maybe
off the
they
side.
just look at you and think, oh, I don't want to touch that. What a
fair
greasy,
enough,
disgusting man.
Then why would they want me to pass their money to them? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
And then the one that gets me as well is if they do that, but then they pay an exact change, and then I can't do it back to them. There's no revenge on my part, and it makes me quite sad. Anyway, this is Tesco Corner Complaints.
I've got one that I think you'll relate to, but it's not Tesco related. There's nothing that pisses me off more than people who I'm thinking driving specifically here. Right. They'll thank you, but not give you a choice. They'll pull out on you or cut you up, and out the window they'll give you a little smile and put their hand up and they're like, thanks, and then just do what they're going to do anyway.
Right.
That makes me very annoyed.
Is that better than people that just don't say thank you, though?
They've probably arranged me in equal amounts for different reasons.
Is that because they know what they're doing is wrong, so they're kind of like trying to cover their bases by saying thank you?
Yeah. In fact, no, that does piss me off more.
Why?
Because they know they're doing it, and they're like, I'm going to get away with this.
But I think the other people know they're doing it as well, but they just don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, but I'm more fine with that.
Okay, because they're just...
It's when they look you in the eye, and they're like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pretend that you're letting me.
Right.
Like that.
So the people that just do it and don't give a shit about you, they're like firmly in the arsehole camp.
Yeah.
And you don't care about them because they don't care about you.
Yeah.
But those people that are like in between, like, oh, I'm going to be a bit of a knobhead, but I care about what you think a little bit.
A little bit.
So I'm going to pretend.
Because then I want to get out the car and go over to them and be like, no, I'm not fine with this. The other guys, they know that I'm not fine with this.
Yeah.
But these ones, they're like, oh no, he's all right. This makes me, I can get away with it now.
Right. Do you think you're taking advantage of you
Yes.
more? Okay. And then they think on their behalf, like, oh, I'm so nice saying thank you.
Yes.
Whereas the other person, like,
because then they'll sleep soundly at night then and be like, yeah, I did nothing wrong today.
I quite believe in like road karma, in that if I'm in like a line of traffic and I see someone that's kind of waiting to pull out, more often than not, I will slow down and let someone out.
Yeah.
Because I feel karmically it'll come back to help me in that if I'm in that situation, someone will let me out. Because I would say there is a portion of people that will never, ever let anybody out unless they're kind of like, you've forced your way in.
Yeah.
At our complex, the Manor,
yes.
when we come out, that's a very busy road at certain parts of the day. And sometimes I'll pull out to kind of like halfway.
Yeah.
And people will go around me.
Oh, yeah.
Onto like the middle of the road because there's like a turning part in to get around me. I'm like, just stop so that then the other road, because if you stop one half of the road, the other half feels way more obliged.
Yep.
Because they're more likely to stop and then you can go. Those people that go around you, dickheads.
Yep. I have exactly the same because I'm on that road.
Yeah.
But just like 2 minutes further down.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
I think it's actually worse where you are because it's
the
right
roundabout. Next to a roundabout as well. And a gym immediately on your left. They really need lights there. We're getting too specific.
Or that roundabout. You need like a double roundabout.
Yeah, they need something. But anyway, I don't live there now. Not my problem.
Yes, people in cars can be knobheads.
Yes,
but not us.
Not us. We're never knobheads.
No.
Right. Isn't that the end of complaints? We got more. I think we're up to 3 this week.
That's me done. And mine are all just people. People are just summed up by people can be dickheads.
Yes. Moving on. And when I say moving on, should we do News Bleat?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, News Bleat.
News Bleat.
I haven't really got much news this week.
I've got 2.
Oh, that's good.
Because you've got none.
Because I've got none. That works out.
Here we go. Right then.
Right.
I've got some hard-hitting news this week.
Okay.
Have you heard about Justin Bieber?
Oh, I have. Yes, I have heard this one.
So Justin Bieber, hang on, let me bring up the...
He's a musician, right?
Justin Bieber, he is. I think his last album's actually all right. Right. Justin Bieber has challenged Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon.
Yes, I have heard this because I thought about using it for fake news, but I thought this was going to get too big.
Oh, this was too big, yeah.
Yeah.
So he tweeted, I want to challenge Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're scared and you'll never live it down. Who's willing to put on the fight? And then he's tagged Dana White, who's head of UFC.
Yeah.
I could actually see this happening.
Who would you bet on?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise every 100%. Day of the week.
I think he's, what is he, 57-ish?
Right.
I think he's almost 60. He would wipe the floor with him, though.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is known for doing all of his own stunts, he's, no matter being an older guy, he's very in shape.
He is shorter, though.
My money's still on him.
Yeah,
there's no situation that I could be talked around.
What if it comes out in like 6 months' time and Bieber's just absolutely shredded? He's just like steroided it up.
Nah, he'll still get done.
You think they're just the pure athleticism of Tom Cruise? A man, he looks good running, so maybe he just runs away. Tires him out. I think that would be an interesting fight. I think there should be more like beef settlements in like the celebrity world where people just get in and fight. Because they did it with like the YouTube drama a while ago, didn't they? With KSI and Logan Paul. And
it was a really disappointing one.
It was a draw.
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess.
It should happen more though. But so someone else replied. Have you seen this?
No.
Someone jumped in the middle of this. So someone said, "Fight me instead, you coward." Mm-hmm. Can you guess who might have challenged Justin Bieber?
Oh, is it like The Rock?
It's Danny DeVito.
Okay.
My money would be on him.
Danny DeVito, the short guy,
the really short guy, yeah,
from like Always Sunny,
yeah,
and he in the Disney films where he's a goat,
yeah, he's been in everything over the years.
I think my favourite film with Danny DeVito, bit of sidebar here,
come on,
is have you seen the one where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
And Danny DeVito is like the dad, or something like that.
Incredible.
What an amazing film that is.
Was it
Daddy Daycare? No.
What's it called?
Two Daddies?
I'm going to...
Who's your daddy? And what does he do?
Junior.
Is that what it's called?
It's called Junior.
I feel like that doesn't sell the movie well.
Oh, I've just seen a picture. I forgot how horrifying it is. Does he have a dream sequence where he sees the baby, but the baby's got his face on it?
Possibly.
It's horrifying.
I can't say, I've not watched it in probably about 12 years. So.
Anyway.
Yeah, did Justin Bieber reply to Danny DeVito?
No. No, he didn't.
What a coward.
Who would you rather see the fight between Bieber and Danny DeVito or Bieber and Tom Cruise?
I think the Danny DeVito fight, I just think that'd be funnier because I feel like neither of them are like the utmost athletes, where I feel like the other one might be just like a proper beating. I really want it to happen though. The Tom Cruise one now. Because that could actually realistically happen. Do we know where this has come from, or is this like Justin Bieber's got a little drunk?
Apparently they had no prior anything before that.
Weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, was it not a wedding? Did they not meet at a wedding? Something like this? I might just chatting shit.
I have no idea.
Probably the second one.
My notes do not give me that much. I just screenshotted the tweets.
Fair enough.
Right, my other bit of news.
Yeah.
I had to go back to my notes because I can't remember what it is. Yeah, right, okay. It's another Twitter-related thing.
I thought you didn't even like Twitter. You've seen this on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I wasn't on Twitter.
Yeah.
Obviously.
What
do you take me for? Right, so I want to break down the beloved president of the United States.
Right, okay.
Mr. Donald Trump. Have you seen his latest, probably not latest tweet, he's probably tweeted 100 times in the last minute.
Is this the one about Mars and the moon?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to break this tweet down because I don't understand it. I don't think anyone really understands it. Okay, this is from Donald Trump. For all the money we are spending, NASA should not be talking about going to the moon. We did that 50 years ago. They should be focused on the much bigger things we are doing, including Mars, of which the moon is a part. Defense and science.
Yeah.
Is he suggesting that that Mars and the moon are the same thing?
They are, Ben. Yeah.
Just one unit.
Well, the thing is, when you turn the moon round, it's Mars on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's like, and sometimes you get the red moon. Mm-hmm. That's because the moon's turned around. Yeah.
Thanks for enlightening me on this.
Yeah, that's why it sounds. That's why it sounds silly, but he's just thinking on that next level.
What is he actually meaning there, though?
I think he's trying to say we shouldn't be planning on just getting to the moon again. Mm-hmm. That it should be a jump-off point to get to Mars. I think that's what he's trying to say. But generally, the answer is, well, that's kind of stupid because they're like different trajectories.
Yeah.
It's easier just to go from Earth to Mars if we were going to send astronauts.
Yeah.
But I think in his mind, it's like, oh, we're going to build a moon base and then from the moon, we'll go to Mars. Because I think he maybe thinks that moon's like halfway in between Earth and Mars, or something like that.
Right.
Which, kind of makes sense. It doesn't make sense. But in his mind, it might make sense. Well, the moon's not here. It's not on Earth, so it must be in space. And the space can't be that big. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So...
just baffled me when I saw that anyway.
Yeah.
That's all my news, though. No more news.
No more news.
No more news.
Well, speaking of Twitter...
So we're on a Twitter roll.
This is a thread that I saw on Twitter.
Go on.
That I thought you might appreciate. This is from the user Sixth Form Poet.
Sixth Form Poet.
Sixth Form Poet. Okay. Yes. Okay. So my dad died. Full stop. This is from the Twitter.
I think I've seen this.
Have you? Classic start to a funny story. He was buried in a small village in Sussex. I was really close to my dad, so I visited his grave a lot. I still do. Don't worry, it gets funnier. Have you seen this?
It does get funnier.
Right, let's... I'll go through it, and then
go through
people can hear it. I always took flowers, and my mum visited a lot, and she always took flowers, and my grandparents were still alive then, and they always took flowers. My dad's grave frequently resembled a solid third place at Chelsea Flower Show. Nice, but I felt bad for the guy buried next to my dad. He never had any flowers. He died on Christmas Day, aged 37. No one left him flowers, and now there's a pop-up florist in the grave next door. So I started buying him flowers. I started buying flowers for a deceased man I'd never met. I did this for quite some time, but I never mentioned it to anyone. It was a little private joke with myself. I was making the world a better place, one bunch of flowers at a time. I know it sounds weird, but I came to think of him as a friend. I wondered if there was a hidden connection between us, something secretly drawing me to him. Maybe we went to the same school, played in the same football club, or whatever. So I googled his name, and 10 seconds later, I found him. His wife didn't leave him any flowers because he'd murdered her on Christmas Day. After he murdered his wife, he murdered her parents too, and after that he jumped in front of the only train going through Balcombe Tunnel at Christmas night. That is why no one left him flowers. No one except me, of course. I left him flowers. I left him flowers every couple of weeks. Every couple of weeks for 2.5 years. I felt terrible for his wife and her parents. Now, I wasn't going to leave them flowers every couple of weeks for 2.5 years, but I did feel like I owed them some sort of apology. I found out where they were buried, bought flowers, and drove to the cemetery. As I was standing at their graves mumbling apologies, a woman appeared behind me. She wanted to know who I was and why I was leaving flowers for her aunt and grandparents. Awkward. I explained, and she said, "Okay, that's weird, but quite sweet." I said, "Thanks, yes, it is a bit weird." And oh gosh, I asked her out for a drink. Incredibly, she said yes. 2 years later, she said yes again when I asked her to marry me because this is how I met my wife.
What a great story.
That is a great story of a little weird man, I would imagine.
Yep.
Yeah, how have you seen this?
I think I actually saw that on Twitter.
You don't even go on Twitter.
I've been on Twitter a bit. This last week.
How can you have free time when you're moving house, Ben?
Well, because when I was waiting for the oven to get done or waiting for the carpets to go in, I just Twittered a little bit.
It is, that's fine. It's a good story though, isn't it?
It's a great story.
Like that.
So many twists and turns.
Yeah,
so many emotions.
It makes for a better how did I meet my wife than, like, I met on Tinder.
Yeah.
Or do you think that they met on Tinder and that was like the convoluted way of the story? Imagine making up that story to prove you didn't meet on Tinder.
I feel like that's one of those stories that's so ridiculous that it's got to be true.
Yeah. You couldn't write it.
You just couldn't write it.
Yeah.
You could. But...
How do you feel about your own meeting of your love interest? Where were we? We're at Lipper Bar, weren't we? That's where we first met.
Yeah, we were. We were. We were waiting for our respective other halves.
I mean, Gina.
To come out. Yeah, I think it's a decent one.
Would you classify yourself as like childhood sweethearts?
I suppose so.
I think anyone looking at you that didn't really know you, and I think even I would classify you as childhood sweethearts.
Yeah, because you 16. So 16 is basically a child still.
It is. You can't vote, but you can have sex.
That's true. What a world we live in.
It is. What a weird world. I think I'm not particularly happy with the story of how I met Annie.
Do you want to tell the story?
We met in a club after I've only recently. It's coming up. It's a week today.
Today?
It's 3 years since we met. Yeah,
No way.
In a week's time.
Jesus Christ, that's gone quick.
It hasn't gone. Yeah, so we met.
Where has the time gone?
In a bar in Liverpool, Heebie-Jeebies.
Heebie-Jeebies.
I asked if she wanted a drink. She said no.
I didn't know that bit.
Did you not know that bit?
No.
She said no. Because basically she was getting a drink off Connor. She was like nicking his drink, and I was like just dancing around. I was like, if you want a drink, I can buy you one. And she said no. I was like, I'm going to buy you a drink. So I went and bought her a drink.
And she was like, no, stop following me.
I gave it to her. She said, thanks. And then we started chatting, and then I'd like to give thanks to Will and Connor for kind of wingmanning me while I was on my own with Annie.
Yeah.
And kind of Will said to her, he's a really nice guy, you should message him. And then I'd messaged, we added each other on Facebook, and I messaged her that night asking if she wanted to go for a meal. So it's kind of sweet.
That's a nice story.
But when you bottle it down is, we met in a nightclub.
Yeah. But that's fine.
Yeah, but it's not...
What would you prefer?
Well, it's not like... Some people have like a proper romantic story where they met in a grave of their... Or at least a good story. I feel like it's an okay story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first time me and Gina met, we were at a house party, and we were both trying to get with other people that night. That was the first time we met.
But then that's... but it never worked out, and then we always kept drawing back to each other. I don't know how you guys met, but I mean, it's also like childhood sweethearts, quite a nice story as well.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't remember how we got onto this topic.
Yeah, because we read this Twitter, because we were talking about Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
Should we move on to fake news?
Fake news or not?
Our little sidebar after that. Right, are you ready?
I'm ready. What are you doing? You bringing a story?
Maybe
me
fake? What fake news is. Okay.
Yeah, just for any new listeners.
Each week I bring a story to the table that is either fictitious and made up by me or is a true news story, and Ben has to work out whether it's fake news or not.
Far away.
Stoke-on-Trent woman stabbed boyfriend in revenge attack as he tried to stop her packing so many holiday clothes.
Where were they going?
Anywhere away from Stoke-on-Trent. And that's a holiday. Anywhere away from Stoke-on-Trent is a holiday.
Right, okay.
I don't know, Ben.
You don't know.
Did
they survive?
He survived, yes.
Okay. How many times did he get stabbed?
At least once.
Do you know where he was stabbed?
Stoke-on-Trent.
If I show you a doll, can you point on the doll to where he was stabbed?
No, she didn't stab a doll. She stabbed her husband, a boyfriend. Sorry, I'm being facetious here. The only there's not much information to it.
Oh, is that because you made it up?
Maybe, maybe not. She just said that when the police turned, the police report says that when they turned up, she was shouting, "He deserved it."
Oh, I'm going to say this.
Why are you like bouncing up and down like some sort of weird child that's had a bit of sugar?
I'm gonna say.
Is it because you're not very comfortable in that seat?
Yeah, I've got no back support here.
No.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Is what gut are we on here?
Well, I was leaning towards it being fake, so I'm saying it's true.
Okay.
Because I was on a winning streak for 6 weeks when I did that, and last week when I went with my first instinct, I was wrong. So now I'm going back to the opposite of what I initially think.
Right. Okay. The story is true.
Yes. Second gut never fails.
Damn it.
I should have learnt that.
Yeah. So,
right, can you give us the whole story now?
Yes. She was in a grip of pathological rage when she knifed her boyfriend after realising he had unloaded some of her belongings from their car. The police called to the couple's home, discovering the driver had stuck to her boyfriend, bleeding from a wound to his left bicep.
Bicep?
I did know, but I just didn't want to give you the information.
It's
too much information. You asked too much. I might limit your questions.
Okay, shall we? New rule.
Right.
I get 3 questions.
3's too many. 2.
2 questions.
Yeah.
3 questions.
2.
3. Okay, 2 questions, and then for every week that I'm wrong, if I'm on a losing streak, I get one more question.
I reckon
that resets every time I win.
Yeah. So if you get 3 wins in a row, you go down to no questions.
No, okay, this is good.
And then it starts. Say it starts at 2. Yeah. And if you lose a week, it goes up to 3. Yeah. And then you can continue upwards. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. And the woman was screaming, "He deserved it. He deserved it."
I don't think he deserved it.
I'm not sure they did either.
I don't know all of the bits leading up to it, but stabbing.
Yes.
I can see where the argument arose from. It can get very heated, can't it? When you.
It does. When
you're packing
I'm trying to
for
see
holidays.
if I can find out where they were going.
I'll be, if it's Blackpool, I'll be so happy. Or Florida, that would be very fitting.
It says. No, it's just they were going away for the new year.
Who published this?
Stoke-on-Trent live.co.
Get better journalists.
No, stokeessential.co.uk.
Well,
there you go.
Right.
God damn it.
Right, back on the winning streak of one.
Yes.
Doesn't really work, but...
It doesn't.
Moving on.
Have
you got any Will I recommends this week?
No.
Have
you?
I've been... Just a quick music one.
Okay.
Do you know Bon Iver?
Oh, Bon Iver.
I really want it to be Bon Iver.
Yeah.
But I know it's Bon Iver. And Bon Iver just sounds better.
It does.
Him,
but
anyway.
Yes.
Biggest song was Skinny Love, if anyone
Come on,
doesn't know.
Skinny Love. That's how he sounds, right?
So he released an album last year, but not under his name. He did like a collab with a guy, and they called it Big Red Machine.
Okay.
That album is great.
Right. Have you only just found it?
I only just found it. One of my friends showed me 2 weeks ago, and I finally got around to listen to it. It's great. If you like Bon Iver, give it a go.
Have you ever been to? I feel like, did you go to his gig of his?
No, he's top of my list of people I'd like to see there.
Yeah, I feel like he's not got like a booming gig. I feel like he does better in like a small environment where it's kind of close.
Like an O2 Academy room.
Yeah,
that's where I'd like to see him most.
Yeah. Like I don't think he should do like arena tours. He might do for a money stake, and he probably maybe sell out. I don't know.
I think, in certain places, maybe,
yeah. I know Lewis Capaldi's like selling out arena tours, and he's been around for about 5 minutes.
I love Lewis Capaldi. He's taken the world by storm.
He is. Is it because he's just an average man?
I think it is. But the other thing is, he is genuinely hilarious.
Yeah. And he knows how to promote himself as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's got a promoter or a manager or anything like that, has he?
I believe he probably does have those things.
Maybe.
I don't know that, but I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. To be fair though, I would if you had a manager, like if you were part of the corporate machine, he wouldn't do the half of stuff he does on Instagram and his weird like.
I think they would though. I think it's his thing.
That's part of his thing.
Like
now.
they've just, I think, because it feels like a little bit people discovered he was this kind of funny, little bit weird guy.
Yeah,
they've just lent into it. They're like, this is your brand. Just go all out. You do you.
Yeah, true, true. So because the Jonas Brothers did a live lounge of his song.
I've not seen that.
He was buzzing off that. Because now he's like, I can't wait for the royalties coming for that. Man's got songs going through the roof. So,
good impression.
I'd recommend him on Instagram.
Yeah, I would. I second that.
Pretty good game.
Right. Should we go on to the main topic?
Yes. What are we talking about this week?
Let me.
No
section.
Fine.
We're going. Sorry to overrule you there.
That's fine. What are we talking about this week, Ben?
We are talking about a mirror that is black.
Mm-hmm. Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Season 5 of Black Mirror.
Season 5. We've spoken about Black Mirror before for Bandersnatch. The one-off episode. If you've not watched Black Mirror, it's really good. They're all on Netflix. Go and watch them.
Yeah.
They're normally episodes that are based around a very strong theme.
Yeah,
normally around.
Explain the premise of Black Mirror in general, if you could. If you had to.
Generally, not always, they pick a topic, normally to do with technology.
Yes.
And they kind of show its flaws on where it could go wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of a big, what if?
What if?
And then taken to the extreme, really.
A lot of the time it's like about 10 years in the future, like the not too distant future.
Yeah.
This is where we could be heading. And they'll just look at a scenario, basically. And all the episodes are kind of in the same universe, but they're not directly linked. They don't like follow on from each other.
No. And they're not, like, the technology that's used in one isn't necessarily in another one.
No.
But it's a very similar kind of world.
But they've dropped like so many Easter egg links through the episodes that they're in the same world, universe.
The Black Mirror universe.
Yeah.
The multiverse timeline thing. Where do you think the Black Mirror gets its name from? What would you say is the Black Mirror?
I've always wondered this. Do you know?
No, I don't know. But if you were to assume,
Black Mirror,
like, is it holding up a mirror to society and it's a tainted mirror and it's black?
Yeah,
because I've heard of that, and I've also heard of the Black Mirror is our screens and our phones. Like, you know, when the phone's off and it's like it's just dark and it's just looking back at yourself, and it's like, this is your technology. You're spending your time looking at this black mirror, basically.
I think both of those work, and both of those sum up the show, basically.
I think so, yeah.
if that's a better summary than what I just said, it's holding a mirror up to you.
Yeah.
And they get you to think a lot of the time.
For sure.
So, yeah, we're going to do spoilers from here on out, I think.
Yes. If you want to watch it, please do. I would, from the offbeat, I would say I recommend all of Black Mirror, and I enjoyed this season also.
Right. I didn't enjoy this season as much.
I would probably agree, but I still enjoyed it more than other TV generally. I think it's not been as good as other seasons.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they'd done 6 episodes at half the length of each, because these were very long, so they were about an hour each.
I'll tell you what would have made this better, in my opinion, if they'd held off with Bandersnatch and stuck this as a 4th episode.
Yeah, possibly.
After the 3rd one. Because for me, episode 1, good. Episode 2, still good. Episode 3, not great.
I didn't like episode 3.
And then if Bandersnatch had come after... I just held up 5 there. If Bandersnatch had come after, that would have kind of redeemed it a bit for me.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, that's okay, this is cool. But I think, let's go, seeing as we spoke about 3rd, let's start with that. We'll work backwards.
Okay.
I was expecting Miley Cyrus to deliver something really kind of special and different.
Right.
I think because I thought, they've cast her, they're going for it's going to be a real look at the music industry and females in pop music. And they did that up to a point, but it was, I want to say, very un-Black Mirror-ish, this episode.
Yeah.
The first 2 really had that strong theme of, you knew that they were pointing out something in society.
Mostly technology, really, wasn't it?
But this one was more just a little story on its own, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I was just expecting something a lot more hard-hitting.
So basically, the storyline for this was Miley Cyrus is playing Miley Cyrus, basically.
A pop star,
called Ashley Young.
Ashley O?
Ashley O, who is being controlled by her manager, who's her aunt. And Miley Cyrus doesn't want to do what her manager's saying, but her manager kind of overrules her and controls her with drugs.
Yeah.
Cutting a long story short, the manager puts her into a coma through the drugs and uses technology to kind of steal songs from her brain as she's sleeping and sell that on afterwards. And then the other part of that story is there are these 2 sisters, one of them that's obsessed with Ashley O, one of them hates her with a passion, and Ashley O brings out this toy doll AI called Ashley 2, as well as Ashley TOO, which kind of speaks to you as if she was Ashley, and kind of can I do you a makeover? And kind of little stereotypically girly things. And then the story goes from there.
Yeah.
What I thought was going to focus more on is the doll.
Yeah.
And the toy itself, because it is an artificial intelligence. And you find out later that it's the singer's full personality scanned into this with a limiter on, so you can only do the public-facing identity, really.
Yeah, the bare minimum.
Bare minimum. And then this gets removed, and it's basically Miley Cyrus as a sassy doll.
Yeah.
And then I don't really like where it goes from there.
That's why I kind of wish they'd done either the look at the manager controlling her client type thing, or the toy and the AI side, because the 2 of them, it felt like neither of them really worked. The toy just seemed to become a gimmick in the end, really.
Because I thought they were going to. So in the end, basically, Ashley O is in this coma, and the girls go and save her, get her out of this coma, and wake her up. And then there is kind of 2 Ashley O's. So you got the human one, and you got the robot one. They do not resolve what happens with that robot one. That robot one feels like she's alive. She's very much sentient. She talks as if she was a real person. They never address it afterwards.
Nah.
It kind of just goes to credits. And everything gets saved. They point out the manager being a bad person.
Yeah.
And then do not assess what's going on with this AI that feels like a real person. I wish we'd seen more scenes of the robot afterwards.
Yeah.
Do they just kill it? I would either, the scene of maybe, real Ashley O turning her off and she's being like, no, please. At least then we know what's happened to it.
Yeah.
And there's kind of, maybe Ashley feels like she's killing it. Like there's at least some sort of storyline there. Whereas this, you don't find out, and it kind of felt un-Black Mirror to just leave that technology kind of just like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, it's just a thing now.
Yeah, it felt more like it was, Miley was like, oh, here's a story of me mirroring my childhood, like her actual childhood of like, I was Hannah Montana, and then I kind of broke out of that and went a bit wild, and now she's kind of come back to who she really wants to be.
Yeah.
Because people were quite shocked of who Miley Cyrus became after Hannah Montana. She went like really off the rails in comparison to it. Yeah. And I think it was trying to hold a mirror up to that, possibly.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I was expecting. I thought they were going to really lean into, we're going to look at Miley Cyrus specifically and like look into how being a pop star has affected her life, or like a look at the industry or something. And it just didn't, at all. And also, I hated the ending of that one, because it did that thing where the camera was panning around in a rock venue, and I was like, oh no, they're not going to all be on stage, are they? And then there was like, the sister was playing bass and she was singing, and I was like, it's just really cheesy.
Yeah, it's really cheesy.
And
then they had like some of her old fans in this rock place being like, he's terrible.
Yeah.
The ending of that was poor.
Yeah. That's what it felt like a week. I think especially because it was the last episode in the season. I thought, this is building to a big finale, like the highlight. And then it just kind of ended, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I think it's not like, I don't think Miley Cyrus's performance was bad. I don't think she was.
I didn't think it was great though.
No.
It was just fine.
Yeah. Like it could have, I think they had her because it's similar to the experience maybe that she's had.
Yeah.
But like you said, I wish they'd focus more on her aunt being in control and maybe using technology to do that. Like she could have had something like she can't access her own social media.
Yeah.
Like that's taken away from her. She's kind of like pinned in. And then like maybe that she didn't even tell the world that she was kept away. Yeah. And like that they had this, because at the end they came up with like a hologram that was like pretending to be Ashley. If they'd have done that as like the keep her away, keep her producing songs, but then she can't break out of that, and the hologram is doing everything that she's meant to be doing. Like that's her persona. I think that'd make of a more interesting storyline.
See, that's what, as we're talking, there's lots of like the beginning of ideas. I feel like they planted, but then none of them went anywhere from that.
No. I feel like they had the idea of these sisters and the robot, and then the idea of the singer being controlled, and kind of like mash them together.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like the sisters and the robot could have been something interesting as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It felt like two separate. Maybe they had that storyline with the robot first, and then they got Miley Cyrus
probably
for the part, and they were like, "Oh, we should do more," but then we've already got this. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, but. Should we move on to the first two?
That was definitely the weakest.
Because that was the weakest one, and I really liked the first two.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, if Miley Cyrus was kind of like, fine, I thought the other two leads in these episodes were fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, if we're going backwards, should we do two now?
Yeah, let's do two.
Yeah. This was more of a character study, I feel, than anything else.
Yeah.
So, do you want to explain the theme for this one?
Sure. Basically, we start the story with a man who's basically an Uber driver. And he's a little bit suspicious, and you're not really sure what's going on. And he is outside of this social media complex where the business is, and he's like asking someone, "Oh, so do you work there?" And the first person's like, "No, just visiting." And then the second person we see him picked up, he's like, "Oh yes, I work there." And he takes him down a back alley, basically, and then kidnaps him. And it's us the journey that us as viewers go through is kind of why he's doing this. We're kind of left guessing. We kind of follow the police as he's holding this person hostage, and his demand is to speak to the main, the creator of the social media platform, because he wants to talk to him, and we're not really sure why.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add to that?
No. I think that's it, basically. He just kidnaps this worker who turns out to be an intern.
Yeah. And
he is literally saying, "I'm going to kill you if I don't get to speak to the CEO of effectively Facebook." It's Facebook, but they've just called it something different.
Yeah. And it wasn't the CEO, he was the creator. Just because they had the
there was a COO.
Yeah.
Underneath, wasn't there?
There was.
Yeah.
They end up speaking to. I thought this was really good. I thought the main actor, I don't know his name. I forgot
his name. he plays Moriarty in Sherlock.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? Him. He's Irish. He's great. Him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was like a really good just excuse for him to show off as an actor in a great way. Like there was a lot of, because a lot of it was set in his taxi.
Yeah.
You didn't get to see him like moving around interacting much. It was just kind of his reactions to how the situation unfolded.
For sure. I really enjoyed that set. It felt really close and really intimate.
Yeah, it felt really uncomfortable at times. Especially, I felt so bad for, they did a really good job of making you feel bad for the intern that he'd kidnapped. Like when he was like, I'm claustrophobic, like don't put me in the boot, and he like shut him in the boot and then let him out because he was going to be sick. And then, yeah, they did a good job of making you feel for him. He was like the audience's way in, I feel.
Yeah, but I think you also felt bad for the kidnapper.
Yeah.
Was his name Robert? Chris. He's called Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, we see him at like this kind of social media anonymous setting where there's a woman speaking about her daughter who killed herself.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get into her daughter's account to kind of see the messages, isn't she?
Yeah, to see if she can work out why she killed herself.
And we don't know why he's there, and he doesn't talk about it. And as we go along, we understand that his fiancée died in a car crash with a drunk driver, and his mum has just died as well.
Yeah.
Do we know?
I don't know if we know.
No,
didn't seem suspicious. I think she just died.
like an illness or something like that. And me and the girlfriend were kind of guessing partway through. Oh, was it this? You know, maybe his mum killed himself because of social media. Because you find out about his mum first, and then you find out about the fiance.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what happens in the end?
Well, yeah, it turns out in the end that his fiance didn't get. Well, they effectively did get killed by a drunk driver, but the accident was caused by him looking at his phone on this social media site just for a second, and then car hits them. When the police come to investigate, they see that driver was drunk, and they're like, okay, was it him? That guy gets all the blame, and Chris, who feels very responsible for looking at his phone and causing the accident, just has a bit of a mental breakdown as a result from it, really.
Yeah. And throughout this whole thing, threatening to kill the intern, and after he talks to the creator, kind of does like an emotional monologue about how, this whole thing's addicting, and I can't not look at it for a whole minute. And I've heard that you make it this way so that people will spend more and more time on it. And the creator kind of has like a second thought and is like, this is not the way I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And in the end, we assume, or I thought that he kills himself, or he is shot.
He either gets shot by a sniper.
Yeah.
Or he kills himself.
I think it's that he kills himself.
Yeah.
But we don't see that on screen. We just see everybody's reaction to it, which I thought was a great way to show that.
Yeah.
Kind of everyone's like shocked. You just kind of see like almost everybody. It was like you could only see their eyes, and it was kind of like a bringing up above whatever level. Like people were hiding behind the cars. The sniper was behind their sniper, and then the intern was kind of like behind the chair, I think, and they all kind of had the same reaction of like, oh my God, I can't believe he's just done that.
Yeah.
And you just feel bad for him in the end.
But this was one that I thought typical, like classic Black Mirror, like it really made you think about what it was presenting.
Yeah.
Like I found, I think either the next day or whenever, when I was driving, I had my phone in its holder in the car, and I think I got a message from someone, and the screen popped on. Like I wasn't looking at my phone, wasn't using it, but just for that split second, I saw it had popped up out the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh God. Like that's what the episode was kind of talking about. Like,
this one didn't have a technology that could be taken further in the future, as in like, oh, we have something a little bit now, and this is what it could be in the future. This is like, this is now. This could just be a true story. This could be a documentary on a true story, and you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
Like if someone made a documentary about someone wanting to ring up Mark Zuckerberg, then they kill themselves because of it. Yeah. I would believe that. It could be a documentary or not a mockumentary, but like shown on that.
But I'm gonna get this guy's name up because I think he did a really good performance.
Andrew Scott,
that rings a bell.
Yeah, Andrew Scott.
Him.
Yeah, I thought he was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was when he got time to monologue, and he, like the time when he first kidnapped the intern, he thought that he'd kidnapped someone high up because he was in a suit. And the moment he realized that he was an intern, he just lost his shit. I thought that was a highlight for me when he was just like, went off on one. Basically.
It was great, yeah. Yeah, like you said, it was more of a character study, and that technology was the straw that broke the camel's back, rather than what is the forefront and is forcing your face.
Yeah.
Which was a nice twist on Black Mirror, maybe.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed that one. I thought it was great.
Right. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Should we go back to that one now?
Yeah. Striking Vipers.
Striking Vipers. So...
Do you want to explain?
Yes, I'll try my best. This one was... You follow a guy whose name I can't remember. He's played by Anthony Mackie.
Danny.
So it's set a little bit in the future. He's kind of... We see him, like a glimpse of him as like a 20-something guy in a flat, and he's just met his girlfriend, and...
Who becomes his wife.
Later on, and then we just see them basically for a minute.
Living with his friend Kyle.
Friend Kyle. Skips ahead 10 years or so?
11.
11 years into the future, and we see that he's getting on a bit. He's got a bad knee or something. He's living in the suburbs. He's got a child with the wife that we saw earlier on. He's kind of lost touch with his friend a little bit. We see him on his birthday. And
having a
barbecue. All the kids are playing. And then his friend comes over and they're like, we've not seen each other in ages. Have a good catch up. And he gives him a present, which is a game with a virtual reality thing that he puts on his head. And we come back to that later.
Yeah. So the game is Striking Vipers. And we see them in the first scene, they're playing it kind of just on the couch. Yeah. And... the main character, Danny, is getting beaten. He's not so great, whereas Kyle's beating his ass.
Yes. So, skips ahead late that night. He's like, let's give this a go. Let's have a look at this game. So he puts it on, goes into the game, and has a game with Kyle, his friend.
Yeah.
Online game.
It's the classic virtual reality within Black Mirror where you're not wearing big goggles. It's just like a little button that you put on the side of your head.
And then you're just in the game. Yeah. So it switches and they're literally in the game as if it's real life, as the characters they're playing. And they have a fight, and then as the fight finishes, so Danny is playing a female character.
What's she called?
Nope, sorry. Danny is playing a male character.
Yeah.
And Kyle is playing a female character.
Lance and Roxette.
And as they finish the fight, I think one of them lands on top of the other, and it suddenly goes, this is a bit intimate. And then they have a bit of a kiss. And then Danny freaks out, quits the game, and he's like, what's going on? This is weird.
Yeah, what was that?
But then the next day, he's like, okay, let's try this again. He's like, that got a bit weird. He was like, I was drunk. And the other guy was like, so was I. So then they go to have another fight. But this time, they just go straight in, have a kiss, and then the camera kind of cuts away, and we see them getting dressed again after.
They'd been fucking.
Yeah, they had a bit of...
Rompy-pompy.
Yes. So...
Bit of in and out fun.
Yes. After that, it kind of pans out. They have a fling for a while. They keep going into the game, not to fight, but to have this relationship in-game, and then it kind of just takes a look at... They start questioning, am I gay? Am I not gay? What is this? And then Danny's drifting further and further away from his wife, and he's suddenly not interested in her anymore. And I think all he wants is from this game. So their relationship breaks down a bit, and they realize Danny's like, I can't do this anymore. But he's like, let's meet up in person and see if we're gay, if this is us or if this is the characters in the game. So they meet up in a car park somewhere at night.
In a rainy alleyway.
And have a kiss. And both of them are like, nah, I don't feel anything. This is just weird. So then Danny's like, I'm out, done, over. And Carl's like, nah, it can't be over. And then they just have a fight in real life, punching each other, get arrested. The wife turns up, gets him out of jail, and is like, what is going on?
Yeah, makes him explain.
And then it cuts at the ending to the wife has the virtual reality thing, and he has the virtual reality thing. And on their calendar, it looks like an annual event, or once a month or something, that they let each other go and do their thing in a virtual reality setting.
You've misunderstood what happened at the end there.
Okay, what was your reading?
So his wife has the virtual reality, and she gives it back to Danny.
Yeah.
Danny has the box for her wedding ring.
Is it the wedding ring?
It's the wedding ring. So he gives the box. So
she just went to a bar.
Yeah, she just goes to a bar and just has her a real life fling, affair, if you will, but it's not an affair because they both know about it.
Yeah. So but the other bit that I've read was they seemed happy now again.
Yes.
They seemed like they were happy with each other, but they let each other off the hook, gave each other a pass for one night.
Yeah. It was kind of like, Danny was like, I really enjoy doing this thing.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to affect our relationship.
Yeah.
And she'd been earlier in the episode being like, I turned down men as well.
Yeah.
Saying like, kind of like, I'm still a hot piece of ass if I want it to be. I don't think she uses those words. But basically says, I had to turn down a guy. Why are you turning me down when you're my husband? Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think of it then?
It was weird. I wasn't expecting where it went.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But it was a fascinating look at a mix of things like virtual reality and games on what harm that could be. A kind of a look on, I suppose, like what porn is, how that could affect someone's life.
Yeah.
And then also looking at kind of what is someone's sexuality and how would virtual reality could that alter it for in real life to...
It was looking at like a virtual affair, like virtual infidelity.
Yeah.
Is it cheating or is it just sophisticated porn?
Yeah, it's like, is this real life? If it's not real life, is it cheating? Is it not? What is this? Because I suppose, again, this was another classic Black Mirror of technology could be headed this way.
Oh, yeah.
What issues will come from that? Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and I really liked the avenues that it kind of explored and the questions that it left open.
Yeah.
I watched the second episode with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend has not yet watched this episode because I think she already doesn't like but doesn't like video games in general.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see what she would think of it.
I was hoping she had watched this because I was going to ask you what her thoughts were on it. But.
I think she would be like, well, see, I told you, kind of stuff, being like, video games are bad and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not how life actually is right now.
Yeah.
But that's how I imagine Annie would think. I'll try and make her watch it, or I will watch it with her again.
Yeah.
And see what her opinion is, because I think she would take the opinion of this is a bad thing.
I think that's I know what you're saying, but I think from video games have evolved over the years into such a wide thing, and virtual reality getting thrown in with that as well now, that it's like books or films. Books isn't bad, films aren't bad, and gaming isn't bad. Like there's such a wide context on a game that could be bad and a game that could be good on affecting your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just like anything in excess, like alcohol, on its own isn't bad. But yeah.
Let's talk about then, would you have said that was cheating?
Yes.
Okay. Explain.
I find it hard to explain.
Okay.
with a fake technology or a technology that's not there yet. I suppose like if to bring it into a real life scenario, is it cheating if you're texting someone online?
Does it depend on what you're texting?
That's what I mean. Like you and me texting, that's not cheating. That's just having a conversation. But then it's like, where does that line begin? Or even if you are texting things of that nature, would everyone class that as cheating? If you were like having a webcam chat with someone, would that be more cheating than if it was just conversation? And then how does that differ to in real life? It's like, I think the line would be different for everyone.
I think the best way to define this is there are two types of cheating. You have like physical and sexual cheating, which is like one, and then the other one is emotional cheating.
Yeah.
Where it's you are with someone, so emotional cheating, you are with someone, but you are still liking someone else. You are kind of in love with someone else at the same time, in kind of like a trope of rom-coms and stuff like that with, I'm with my boyfriend, but I've fallen in love with the dreamy hunk in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't do anything at all, like nothing sexual or anything like that, but you aren't as emotionally invested in your relationship anymore, and you spend more and more time thinking about the other person.
Yeah.
Whereas then you can have both at the same time, but also then the other one might be you have a one-night stand while you're in a relationship and you don't even care who the other person is. You just wanted to have sex with somebody different.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the combination of those, which is like a long-running affair or something like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Whereas
I thought the other thing that this kind of introduced as well, though, and this isn't cheating, but it kind of highlighted how this could be an issue, is by him entering into this virtual reality world of sex that he was interacting with, if that was like porn, like in current age, that's not cheating, but that could have just as detrimental effect on his relationship with his wife, because he suddenly was more interested in that than real life.
Yeah, it was kind of a twist on a porn addiction, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there are some people that think porn is cheating.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But those people probably have a valid reason for that. You know, if you're looking at someone having sex and imagining having sex. Hi, Mum.
Oh, yeah, this is
weird conversation. But I can see how some people might think that's cheap. You know, oh, am I not good enough for you? Do we not have enough sex kind of stuff?
But I think that's why Black Mirror was doing... People will view that probably in the future as some people say, well, because it's virtual reality, it's not real, it's not cheating. But then some people... Opposite. Like
would you have said it was cheating if it wasn't another person on the other side? If it was just going in and having virtual sex with the machine?
The machine. Again, I think that's just a spectrum on people's opinion will be completely different. If there's no person attached on the other end, then no. Would probably be my initial one. Because
I think this is more like emotional cheating.
Yeah.
Like they were in love or ish with like each other and having the sex in that in the game, but like in real life it wasn't like that. They didn't want to have sex in real life. So it was more emotional based ish. Yeah. And he was becoming more distant with his wife because he was in like this connection.
Yeah.
But then it's not. There was a mix of the physical in there as well.
Yeah.
So it was very complicated.
I think that sums up this. This was a complicated episode.
Yeah.
It was weird. When I finished watching it, I was like, I don't even... What we just watched?
Yeah.
Like, this was weird.
It made me think afterwards, I was like, asking Ben to play Smash has got a new ring to it completely. I was like, Smash is probably not the best name for a game that because if I text you saying want to Smash, do you know what I mean? As a different ring if I text you versus if I text someone, a random girl.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! But this one, I think, so to compare this to the I was going to say the first episode we spoke about, the third episode. Compared to this one planted a lot of like ideas as it went along, and it explored them, and it left you with questions about the ideas, like in general. Whereas the third one planted the beginnings of a lot of like where this can go, and you were just left with, oh, well, where's it going to go? Yeah, it didn't really leave you with thoughts on.
Yeah, it didn't make you have a discussion of different kind of things, like, you know, everything was morally kind of bad. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was no grey area. What her aunt did was bad. Yeah. And then there was good guys to try and solve that out, and the story was... And that's why it didn't feel very Black Mirror. It felt like it could have been another program.
Yeah. Other thing I did want to say, Anthony Mackie I thought was really good in this as well. Yeah. And it was nice seeing him... I've only ever seen him play, like, alpha male hero in films. And then this one was a lot more like
softer, emotionally
kind of, oh, he's a bit vulnerable, and I thought he did that well. And also the friendship between him and Kyle, I can't remember who the actor was for him, but they were really good at kind of showing that friendship. Like you felt like they were really friends, I thought. Yeah.
I think it's the other thing that it could have been putting a question on is kind of how in some relationships you have your guy friends. And you have, like, that can sometimes be in some relationships a cause of a rift in relationships where, like, oh, I'm going out seeing the guys and I don't want to spend time with you. Yeah. That kind of stuff. Because I know in relationships that has happened. I'm not like that because I don't really have many, like, guy friends. Yeah. I know we're friends. Yeah. But, like, I would bring... You were Annie's friend first and now we're friends. You know what I mean? I don't have many friends, like a big group of lads. Yeah. Where I know a lot of guys do have that when they're in a relationship, and then they're having to choose between
the two,
and it can cause issues there. Like I've never been on a lad's holiday.
No,
I don't think I'm ever in a situation where I would want to do that or could do that.
Yeah,
so I think it could be a thing on that.
Indeed, but yeah, good overall. Not as good as other seasons.
They felt long. These were like an hour long. I didn't actually check, but these felt longer than other ones for sure. Because I think the first season at least was shown on TV, on like Channel 4.
Yeah.
And they can't have been an hour long plus breaks every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I reckon they were less time than that. The guy that played Kyle was called Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
I'm not surprised I didn't remember that.
Yes.
I wasn't going to say. Yes, do you think Black Mirror moving forward, do you think they're kind of running out of the ideas that they once had in abundance for beginning seasons?
I think when it's something new like that, it's easier to find issues in technology and do something on it. I think now it's harder for them to say, oh, this is an idea about technology.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, but that's just a twist on another episode we've done. Finding something completely fresh and new is more difficult because of the things they've already done.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes.
Yes. I think because I've seen a lot of criticism online from people saying that all they're doing now is being like, nah, look at your phone, it's bad. And I was like, there is a little element of that, but I don't think it's as bad as that. A lot of people have been saying that it's,
I think the second episode was that, but in a interesting character study way rather than like...
Yeah.
I think maybe the second episode of the first season where we see a woman running around the like a little village and like people are filming her and everyone's looking at their phone.
Mm-hmm.
That one. Because originally I thought that was going to be like, oh, look at all these monsters that are like their phone's done something to them, and then it twisted it in a way. It wasn't that. But I feel like you can't... Is there anything like that now in Black Mirror where people are just obsessed with their phone?
Well, they've kind of had it's a mix of social media and phone. Like there was that other one where people had like a ranking system.
Nosedive.
Yeah, that one where they, like as a form of currency, it was your social status. And that was a lot of phone on you, letting your phone control your life type thing. But I think as long as they do plays on the ideas still in different ways, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it can still be interesting. I think that the other thing I think is they probably put so much time into Bandersnatch. That's probably why this season's maybe suffered a little bit.
And they're going with bigger stars as well, which probably doesn't help with costs. I imagine Miley Cyrus probably wasn't cheap.
No.
And the main character of the first one, if you've forgotten his name.
Anthony Mackie, coming off the back of Avengers.
Yeah, can't have been a cheap purchase, which I think Black Mirror doesn't need massive stars.
No.
It just needs good actors.
Just good actors.
Which is... Because the story isn't...
And again, first two, I wouldn't change that. I think the actors were great in that.
Yeah.
Third one, I don't... Maybe it could have worked just as well with someone who wasn't Miley Cyrus. But then again, it was very much based on her progression in real life as well. So...
Yeah. Well, it was interesting, for sure.
Let's see what happens in the next season.
Do we know if there's any more coming? Or
don't know for sure. I heard an interview with... What's he called? Charlie Brooker, I think.
Yeah.
The one who writes them, directs them. It sounded like he had more plans for them, so I don't think... I'd be surprised if they cancelled it.
In what direction would you like to see them go then?
Have you got something in mind?
I'd like them to go maybe darker and just like really push the maybe horror side of it and kind of just go really dark, and after you've watched it, be like, whoa, holy shit. I don't think I finished. I'm trying to think of other seasons because I'm sure there were times where I finished and felt like that in a couple of other ones, but this one, it felt like they all resolved not in a happy way because the second one was still, he killed himself at the end, probably. But the other two, they resolved in a quite light-hearted way almost. Yeah. So the final one was definitely, this is a happy ending. The first one was like a mixed result, and the second one was like, shit, he's killed himself because of social media. But you did get the nice resolution of the woman accessing the account of her daughter. True. Little bit of closure there. Yeah. Not necessarily happy. It's still a very dark subject matter. But I think number 2, what was it called? Smithereens. Smithereens, yeah. I think that was the most Black Mirror episode. Yeah. In result. Yeah. but like the use of technology was minimal in that one.
Yeah.
I think it was the other question, actually, talking about that second one, I found it really interesting when the company, Smithereen, was talking to the police and they had more information on who Chris was than the police did.
Yes, I did like that.
They were like, oh, he does this, he does this, he does this. We didn't think he's a terrorist because of this, this, and this. But he's not posted in 2 years. He's gone off the grid. And it was like all this analysis that they'd done at like the touch of a button.
Yeah.
And the police were like, oh, yeah, we knew his name was Chris.
Yeah.
And like didn't have as much information as they did, which is kind of pointing the finger at how much information we as society put onto social media.
Yeah.
Which I thought we didn't speak about, but I thought was interesting as well.
Yeah. No, completely agree.
But yeah, going forward, I would kind of like, for me, Black Mirror is, I want to feel like, holy shit, that's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
After watching it, and like, there not to be a happy ending. I prefer Black Mirror when there's not a happy ending.
Yeah. Agreed. I just like it when it's thought-provoking enough to your own life. I think maybe that's why the third one sat differently, because it's like, oh, we're not A-lister female pop stars and this doesn't relate to my life as much. Maybe that's a little bit of it. I don't know.
Maybe some people can relate feeling controlled by other people.
Yeah.
And we're not in a situation where we can relate to that.
Yeah.
Possibly. Ben, you're a musician. Does your manager not control you?
Yes, and I have a doll called Ben 2 coming out next month.
Nice.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on Black Mirror, or should we be wrapping this up?
Should we give it a rating?
Yeah.
A bar rating out of 5 with half bars? Or are we doing the bar rating anymore? Or are we giving that up? I feel like we've not rated something in quite a while.
We've not really done a review thing for a while.
No.
But what are you thinking?
I'd like to go by episodes rather than...
episode 1.
3.5 to 4, like 4 bars.
I'll give that 4, solid 4 for that. Second one.
4.5?
I'd settle 4.5.
And then 2.5 maybe for the
last
like
one? 2.5, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I think not so great.
Not so great. On a whole, though, I'd still say watch this season, and I'd say watch all of the seasons.
Yes, for sure.
I think first season was
still the best.
Yeah. I think my favourite, I really enjoyed was it last season where they had the Star Trek type episode?
Yes.
That one, and all of those episodes I thought were really good.
Yes.
With the exception of, was that the one with the haunted house type thing?
Oh, is that the one where he went into virtual reality?
VR for your fears.
Oh, but is it not like the one where he died? Like it was like you're not supposed to take... He did something, didn't he?
He did something he shouldn't have.
Yeah, and it killed him.
Yeah.
And it like put him in like this vegetative state.
Yeah.
But it was like we didn't know that until we came out, and he was in this like horrific. Yeah. Yeah, I think that episode was really good.
Yeah.
So would I recommend? Yes. Recommend them all.
Yes. Right then.
Right.
Take it away, James.
Thank you for listening to another week of Two Sheep in a Pool. You can find us in all the usual places: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to message us, if anyone ever does, Twitter's probably the best bet at the time being.
Yeah.
You can try emailing in. I don't know if you fixed it.
Nope.
Cool. Well, don't do that yet.
Once my computer's back up here.
Yeah. The move's taking priority. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.